Ladies and gentlemen, the quarterback for the Jets, captain of the Jets, Aaron Rodgers. Arm looked good, bub. Arm looked good.
Greetings.
Hey, arm looked good, bud. Yeah, I mean, we're talking spinning it. Obviously, it felt good to get out there, make some completions, make some plays. Not the result you obviously wanted with the New York Jets losing to the Niners on opening night. A lot of season left. How do you view last night? And like internally, as things are happening, what are your thoughts early in that game?
Well, honestly, gratitude to start the game just as I was back. You know, such a long road. I thought about all the different things that happened over the last year. Tomorrow is like a year since the injury. Lots changed in my life in the last year. So, I just felt, an overwhelming sense of gratitude. I was on the bus ride over. I was texting to some people. Actually texted Randall Cobb and I was texting with AJ as well. But just, just a lot of things were hitting me. 20th season, all the rehab that happened. All the ups and downs of the last year. And I kind of the anthem hit, and I just had a big calm that just came over, and all the anxiety around getting hit and staying healthy just left my body, and I went out there and felt at ease about being back on the field. So it was cool.
That anthem is such a moment before the game, and obviously it was a talking point years ago for a lot of different reasons, and things have happened in the last couple of days that have people referring back to that particular thing that was taking place. But for a lot of players and even retired players, when they go to their first game back after you retire, and some guys like stay away from the game for a little bit because they don't like the fact that they were cut or told that you're not good enough. But whenever you go back and you hear that anthem and you're standing in a stadium, you can't help but get emotional. It's like it's almost like a switch that gets flipped, like, hey, it's game time right now. Like, we're about to do that. I'm excited to hear that your brain had that reaction. Go ahead, AJ.
Aaron, how did your Achilles feel going in? Like you said, the anthem hit and kind of anxiety and all that went away, but like first time getting hit, time trying to move out of the pocket. I'm curious. We know now when someone gets hurt, they're going to sit there and evaluate the top speed that they hit during the game. Like if they feel like they're pushing off, all of this stuff. Like how did you actually feel?
I actually felt good. I don't think that. I really didn't. I only took 2 shots. I took a kind of a hit from an interior guy and got sacked one time. That was it. So I felt like the pass protection was very nice all night. I didn't have to do a whole lot. I was getting rid of the ball, on time for the most part as well. But yeah, my body held up. I feel like I'm going to just keep on getting, more comfortable out there. Meaning, the more I play, the more potential for scrambles could happen with each game, where I get even more confident in really letting loose. But I feel 100% confident. It's just maybe I can do a little bit more every single week. So, but I felt good. Body felt good. Arm felt good. Disappointed, obviously. It would have been a pretty special just culmination to come back and to win on the road against the Super Bowl finalists. But they're a real good team. Their offense got rolling last night, and we had too many 3-and-outs, and obviously turned the ball over twice to put our defense in a tough spot. But the kicker made six kicks on a kind of medium windy night, it felt like, and we just didn't move the ball very effectively for much of the game.
Yeah, shout out to Moody, obviously having a massive night. He's a Michigan man, so his team got their asses beat this weekend. So him bouncing back like that on Monday was probably good for his soul there for the Niners. Let's talk about your connection with Garrett. Seemed to be great. We don't know what's going on with his sleeves. I like the fact that he went with the quarterback throwback uniform on Garrett Wilson for the first night. But it felt like you were looking, D-Bud hated it, and many others thought it was swagless. But there's an entire speech about swag that you could have there. Feels like you really trust Garrett. You're throwing into coverage. It's almost like a Devontae vibe from one game we saw with him. But what is your thoughts on Garrett, your relationship with him, and the offense as a whole? Ooh, you said right there. Ooh.
Well, I checked to not. It wasn't a great check. I made I checked to an in-breaker on the left, and it was like 3-2 on the clock. So I gave a double in-breaker, so I knew the ball had to come out on time. If you watch the playback, basically everybody's breaking in. As you see it, it's not exactly the best combination there, but Garrett gets open so fast, it made the play look all right. I'm kind of just laughing, looking over the sideline like, well, kind of got away with that one. But yeah, we got to get the ball more to G. I think he had, I don't know how many targets he finished with, but probably got up the number. We just didn't have many plays last night. We had, a 12-play touchdown drive. We had some 3-and-outs. We turned the ball over twice within the first 3 plays of a drive. And then we put together one more, decent drive to score. So it wasn't sustained drives. We were obviously weren't on the field a whole lot either. They, I think, scored on, a bunch of drives in a row. But that being said, the defense holding them to field goals, we got to get ourselves back in the game. And when we have a chance to make it a 1-score game or to even it up, we got to do that. And we just didn't do it. So we all got to play a little bit better. But, I think it was a good test for us to see where we're at, and that we're going to be a team that's going to ascend throughout the season.
Yeah, it looked like you guys were getting along, too. I saw you on the sideline, Chad, because there was news out of there that you were dividing the entire building.
That's right.
Remember that? It was like a week ago. This guy's a piece of shit.
We were looking on X yesterday, Aaron, and there's like a 2-second clip of Hackett talking to you, but you looking down the bench, and people immediately said, like, oh, here we go. Aaron's already sick of Hackett. How was it actually working with him again in game? Because, obviously last season didn't get much time with him. And how's that relationship going, and how do you see it, growing as the season goes on?
So Connor, you tell me that clip you just showed?
Swear to God.
Yeah,
Swear to God.
He
hates him. You hate him. Yeah, you hate him, obviously.
And on the TV version, at the very end, they actually had to edit that clip out because at the very end, you look at him, and actually look at the thing, but they cut the camera very quickly.
Yeah,
so
of course.
This is mid-game, but you inevitably, in this shot, you look at the tablet, but it gets cut like half a second afterwards. Obviously, the internet cuts it a little bit earlier than that, so you're not paying attention. But this is the world we live in, and more specifically, you live in, especially with Hackett in New York.
Yeah, I mean, it's appearance versus reality. I don't know, you can make up whatever you think it is based on the appearance. As I'm looking at that, it looks like I'm talking to Tyrod, who's sitting on my left, and then I'm looking. I have one of the surfaces in my lap, and I'm talking to Tyrod, and I'm coming back to the surface as this is normal. Like in the sideline stuff, there's conversation coming at you from all different angles, but. Yeah, Hack and I were great. Yeah, I think I felt like we had we had a good plan going in. We just didn't execute it very well. But yeah, I felt like the calls came in good. Communication was good. Communication on the sideline was good. So yeah, everything's great.
Oh, especially when you look at him finally.
Just ignoring him the whole game.
Just cold shoulder Hackett.
This is literally the fucking clip they're gonna go with.
Yeah, it's out there.
That one has legit 500 retweets. People are like, "Look at this already. Rodgers is done with it."
Out. Yeah, well. Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
Some guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're the worst. There's some people that are great on the internet. A lot of talent on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very funny people.
There's a lot of talent. A lot of funny people.
Breaking their necks.
All right. I believe that's a congressman or something like that. D-Bud has a question for you, A-Rod.
Yeah, Ty brought it up. I was a victim of one of those offside touchdowns, too. If you jump offsides, D-lineman, just keep running to the damn quarterback. But anyway,
you should have picked that. You should have picked that one.
I should have, but Jordy, he got brought up on the show. He is a strong motherfucker at that point. I honestly thought I had it until I landed. I'm like, God damn. But anyway, moving on to your doc coming out. Obviously, going to get behind the scenes of you rehabbing. And we had J.K. Dobbins on yesterday. Absolutely electric. Seems like a guy, just great vibes. I know he was a part of that Achilles factory crew as well. Have you kind of talked to those guys since the season started? He had a big game, obviously, closing out that win against the Chargers. How's that connection going, if it's still going?
Yeah, JK was really, really important for me because he made every day's rehab just a little bit brighter. If you ever been around JK, he's one of the nicest guys. He's just like always in a good mood. He's happy. He's funny. And after about, a couple hours in the day one, he realized there's going to be some back and forth here. You're going to give me some shit. I'm going to give you some shit. I'm going to tell you how young you are and how I'm beating the hell out of you in the rehab. And that was just our banter every single day when it came in. Like, are you still working? Who's doing more hours? Who's coming back? Who's making the biggest jumps? But I needed it, I needed something to look forward to every day. So then to watch JK go out there and also to know that there was very little interest in him. And he's been a dynamic player when healthy in this league, but very little interest in the offseason. Signs with both him and Gus Edwards from Baltimore, both signed at the Chargers. And to watch him go out there and have 10 carries for 135 and a touchdown was so freaking cool. And just to see him smiling and laughing, and more importantly, just healthy. I just know what kind of guy he is. He's a special human being. And I reached out to him, and he sent me a nice message back. And I reached out to a lot of people in the last 48 hours who were really important to me during my rehab. Everybody, obviously, from my surgeon to my PTs to people I work with in the Valley in LA to the people, with the Jets. And he was one of them, just because, his friendship meant a lot to me during that time where I was healing both mentally and physically.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because the Achilles factory, we got a chance to experience it all last year with you. Shout out to Dr. Neil Elatrosh, who looks like a movie character of a Dr. Neil Elatrosh. So cool.
That's true.
Yeah, and everything about him is sweet. But like that locker room feel is very important. Whenever players leave the game, they always say they miss the locker room, they miss the camaraderie. How nice has it been to be back in the locker room with the boys? How nice has it been to be back in your normal life for the last 20 years, kind of around so many different backgrounds and cultures and personalities and opinions and everything that makes the locker room great? How has it been being, kind of drop back in there?
Yeah, it's been great. We got a fun little corner. For whatever reason, last 2 years has been kind of the corner of all the great conversations. I got Tack on one side. I got Tyron. I got Javon Kinlaw. I got Morgan Moses is over there. Lecky is over there. It's a fun group of guys. But yeah, I've enjoyed watching the conversations. Having these two veteran tackles, they're always trying to help the young guys out. So Carter Warren comes over, or John Simpson comes over, or any of these guys are always picking their brains. He's talking to the defensive ends about the tackles they're going against, if there's a familiarity there. It's just they're always having cool conversations about football. And then, as we know, those are the two funniest position groups. So the conversations that maybe Jalen Holmes will bring up, or Tack or Javon Kinlaw or Quinnen Williams, it all kind of centers around the corner we're in the locker room. So I get to just be a fly on the wall to sometimes the most ridiculous conversations that you can never repeat, and sometimes some like real interesting high level football conversations. So that's been a lot of fun. But back in LA, doing the rehab, it was JK and Trey Turner and Wyatt and myself were kind of the guys that made that thing go, and we tried to get everybody to push themselves, but to have a good time with it too. And we're always pulling little pranks on each other and stuff.
Yeah, you need that, man. You need the camaraderie. There's so many different, depending upon who you listen to, and boy, there's a lot of people to listen to, but it's like humans are social beings, especially whenever you're a team player. Football locker rooms are just like the coolest place on earth. And whenever you get pulled out of there, you got to try to find yours immediately. And it's like, I couldn't even imagine you walking back in there.